What's going on, everybody? Hayden here. Welcome back into another video. And today I'm going to give you the frameworks you need to scale your TikTok ads well into the seven figures. I've spent multiple millions on this platform, so doing this has become pretty repetitive. And I'm going to share with you exactly how to do this as quickly and efficiently as possible. Now, I made my course on how to do this absolutely free, so you can get that link down below. And we actually had a student named Marcos take the surf scaling strategies I show and go to $17,000 a day using TikTok ads exclusively. So today, we've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. Let's bring over the whiteboard. Now, the reason this video was inspired was actually not because of the hundreds of ad questions I get every single day on Instagram. It was actually because I had a new store make the pace, if you will, for hitting $1.8 million in a year. And that's about $5,000 a day. So the distinction I want to make here is if you're here and you want to go here, and this 1.8 million number is completely arbitrary. It doesn't matter. It could be 2 million, it could be 300 grand. It's irrelevant because of this line. Okay. And this line is your timeline. Okay. And this could be 1 month, it could be 12 months. It really doesn't matter what it is, but that is going to change what you have to do with your ads. I'll give you an example. Going to $5,000 a day with TikTok is not that difficult. If you have the right product, and I'm going to give you the full sequence on how to do all of this, it's not hard to get on pace for that. But if you want to do this in a month, very different. The landscape is going to be different. The size of the market for your product is going to be different. Competition is going to play a bigger factor. Anybody can go into a market and sell, 100 grand plus a month worth of pretty much anything. Now, how profitable is it going to be? Who knows? But like to really scale and have that virality and that traction, that's the difficult piece. So that's why the timeline I wanted to mention is the real crux of it all. So 5K a day on the new store, which is going great. Yeah. So let's dive into some of these frameworks. There's 3 of them. Number 1, when you're first starting, okay? Videos matter. Now, this is assuming you already have product, right? Because if we jump over to this sheet, the order of priority here on running your ads is as follows. Product. Don't be doing anything else until you have a crazy good product. Then all of your focus goes on the videos. Everything else is not as important, okay? You can have an okay store. You don't need everything perfect. And how you run your ads is probably the least important of them all, especially on TikTok. Because if you have a great product and great videos for it, we're not doing anything on the ads anyways. We target pretty much everybody, US and Canada. We're not setting any age filters, gender filters. We're not doing anything special. Now, how we run the ads later in terms of looking at the metrics and scaling, that's tactical, and I'm gonna get into that. However, you gotta do these 2 things first, okay? So we're gonna start there. When you have your product selected, I'm gonna leave a product research video below, so don't even ask me about products. Videos. Viral e-com ads, VEA, is going to be the best spot for you to get those initially. This is where I'm first testing a product because there is no other place where you can get 3 videos that are better than pretty much anybody can make on their own with no experience for 50 bucks. Okay, and I have a discount code. I'll even leave that below. I think it's 20% off. So 40 bucks for 3 videos. Now, what I do recommend if you're actually going to start selling products and running ads is using their VIP member service. This is actually a ridiculous offer. You can get these, and I think my discount code still works, but you get $12 for 3 videos. It's ridiculous. Now you pay 50 bucks a month and that's it. So I will leave that down below. I honestly think this is the craziest thing I've seen done in the e-commerce space in a long time because this right here is going to save me $500+ a month. So absolutely nuts. You're going to want a lot of videos. We'll get into that when it comes to scaling. Okay. Once you have your videos, which you can have viral e-com ads make, do your ad copy. This is short, a 1-sentence description, not that crazy. Your offer, is it a BOGO, which is buy one, get one? Is it a discount? That's the most common. And remember, shit products cannot be made up for. There is nothing you can do in great advertising, creative stuff that can make up for just a terrible product that nobody wants. It's as simple as that. So don't blame me if it doesn't work. Go watch the product research video, right? You got to have a good product. Now, like I mentioned, how you run your ads is less important than the product in the video, okay? We go broad. Now, if the CPM and CPC is high on your initial test with no results over on TikTok, which I'm going to show you, you're going to have a different strategy that we implement. Okay. And again, this is where the free course comes into play because we go through that. All right. I want to talk real quick about what I call an if-then statement. Okay. This is really important in business. I do this inside of our other company, which actually has more employees now than our e-commerce stuff. This is what we do. It's basically an SOP, a standard operating procedure for what we do when we get a result, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whatever. If this happens, then we do this, right? And based on all the possible outcomes for that, we're going to do this, right? And so you just break down all those steps. And so I've done this the last 7 years, building a big spreadsheet of all the data, the average numbers. Okay, if this doesn't work, here's what I do. Random example. If I have more than 5 ad groups working on TikTok, so I have a lot of stuff working while I'm scaling, I'm more than willing to risk one of those becoming de-optimized by going from $100 a day to $500, like an aggressive raise that is much larger than the normal 20%, because it doesn't matter if it stops working. I have many others, but I also know that there's a 50% chance of success, meaning it stays at the same cost per purchase or actually goes down. So that's a risk I'm willing to take, right? So it's all these if-then statements, all right? Now, I want to go through this first, okay? These are all the variables to consider if your product does not work. And by the way, I'm going to be flying through this quick. There's a lot of stuff to cover, and it's the weekend, so I'm going to go out and enjoy my day. However, all these micro variables, price point, not that huge, but okay, you're probably charging a little bit too much, not the biggest deal. Videos, massive. Ad strategy, how you're running it, okay? I've seen a lot of people where they do have a good product and it doesn't work. That can be the optimization of the ad account itself, but oftentimes people have terrible videos and on top of that, don't know how to run ads, which is not the hard part, okay? Go through the free course, spend an hour and you'll understand that. So simple, especially on TikTok. But getting the good videos, optimizing. Now, I'm gonna dive into some tactics here. So if you're new on TikTok, that's fine. As you start running ads, come back to this video because this is gonna get a little more in depth right now. High CPC, cost per click. If you're noticing that you're paying a lot, your CPMs are high. My CPMs are $8, $12, $15, $20. I've seen that on TikTok. Okay, something is wrong with the optimizing, not just of that ad, but of the ad account. So if that happens, then we do this, all right? And this is assuming that you have a good product, your videos are good, and you're running normal ads, not some foolish stuff that people do, all right? If the cost is abnormally high and you believe in the product, before you actually kill the product and go to the next one, some people jump a little too soon. Okay, rotate to a CPC shotgun strategy. This is what I call it, okay? This is where instead of launching my 2, 3, 4 ads initially, kind of giving them a day or two, sometimes 3, see how they run, I'm gonna launch a ton of stuff. Might be up to 20 ad groups, different budgets. I'm scheduling 500 plus a day, maybe 1,000 a day and spend. Like it's gonna be a lot, maybe more. But the goal is never to spend that, okay? I'm gonna kill these very quickly. Like almost immediately, as soon as I start spending a little bit of money, I want to kill all the ones that have expensive cost per clicks. I'm looking for the costs per clicks that are under $1. Now, if there's 12 out of the 20 ad groups that are all under $1, great. Just keep the best 2 or 3. The goal is only to have a couple of ad groups running during your initial test. But that would be a way to shock the ad account into optimizing. Doesn't always work, but it works about 50% accuracy to at least get a proper test that is starting off on the right foot. Okay, does that make sense? So that is the aggressive CPC strategy. And this is like very in-depth. This is something to do while product testing if something is not working. And I know that's where a lot of people are at, which is where you just don't have something working super well. So you're testing a couple products, you're getting more videos. And that is exactly why I highly recommend the Viral Ecom Ads VIP package, because this is ridiculous. You might be able to find a freelancer on Fiverr who doesn't know their left foot from the right, who could maybe match this price for one video. And it's going to be awful. This is nuts, okay? Now they're getting you for the $50 a month, but that's the price of 3 videos one time. So it makes no sense to not do this, because guess what? Now you can just go order a few, go order multiple of them, okay? It's ridiculous, 4 variants. So whatever you're trying to do, TikTok or Facebook, I highly recommend Viral Ecom Ads. I've literally spent a ton of money with them. I do know the owners, they're close friends of mine. However, I spend a ton of money on this platform, okay? And this has saved me a lot of money. So there's that side of it. Now, let's talk about scaling, okay? Obviously getting more videos. I would also do these yourself or a local videographer, someone like that, because you're gonna want something that's a little more in depth, okay? You're gonna want different styles of videos. I don't always want the same person making them. And as you're scaling, you're making money, I invest some of that back into videos. So the most I've ever spent in a month on videos, just so you know, is 15 grand. And that was the month, I mean, we crossed 7 figures in sales. So that was our largest sales month. So that was really, really big. And of course, it's a small piece. It was less than 10% of the profits back into videos, and that was aggressive, even so. So for scaling, I like to have a light balance between duplicates and raising budgets. So if you have 5 things working, I don't want to go raise the budget on all of them, especially all at the same time. Not a good idea. But I might duplicate 1 or 2, raise the budget on 1 or 2, wait a few days, see what's going on, and look at those results. See which one works best on your ad account. Because for some people, some of my ad accounts work better by raising the budgets. That's how I get more results. Others do better through duplicates. So you just have to find that balance and see what works well for you, right? TikTok's optimizing is wild, okay? So as long as you have multiple ad groups and you're getting results, don't be afraid to aggressively hike the budget. That's a big one. Like I mentioned, 50-50 shot. That's kind of my statistics. So I want to point one thing out. If you are experienced with Facebook ads or Google, Snapchat, Pinterest, whatever, those platforms are so stupid anyways, just like TikTok, but they're all terrible. You can get shut down, but those are at least just a little bit more logical. TikTok, your ads can be doing great and crash. Now, it's usually not the whole ad account. Sometimes that happens where it just becomes really unprofitable, but usually your individual ads don't last as long. I have ads on Facebook that will run for 3 months and they're profitable. Maybe once a month, twice a month, I change the budget a little bit, scale it slightly. But on TikTok, like every week or so, I'm turning these ads. And it's really rare that I have an ad group, even at $1,000 a day, that lasts more than like 14 days. It's really rare. And so it's a little bit more active management, which is not a problem. But the one thing I want to point out there is don't think that whatever you were doing just stopped working. It just became unoptimized. So turn it off or raise the budget, by the way. That can re-optimize it. Yes, I'll raise the budget on something that just dropped in performance. Either raise the budget. If that doesn't work, turn it off, relaunch the same thing. It'll probably re-optimize. So those are a couple of things on scaling. Again, it bounces around all the time. So a lot of turnover, a lot of active stuff there. Let's go back to the whiteboard. Now, of course, the timeline is what depends majorly. If you want to get this in a year, 1.8 million, you're probably going to spend $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 on ads. It's going to be nice and steady. You're going to be ordering, five times a month from viral ecom ads for 3 new videos, nice and steady, rotating those in. It's going to be a very leisurely pace. You don't have to do a lot. Now, let's say you want to crunch this. Let's just say you want to go 4 times faster. You want to do this in a quarter. Now, might take you a little ramp up period, start testing. But if you want to do 1.8 million in sales in 3 months, it's going to take a lot more. It's going to take a much higher quality website. You really have to have an optimized backend system, text message, email marketing, as well as your upsells. It's going to be big because you will have more fluctuation the faster you scale on TikTok. So you're going to want to make sure that you have as high of an average order value as possible. A lot of people run ads and they're spending 20 for a customer that's worth 40, 41, and they're skimming a little bit. It gets really hard when you're scaling aggressively to maintain that profitability. So I want the largest gap. I want to be above a 50 really if you want to scale aggressive in terms of your average order value is a minimum. It sucks selling cheap products. It's really hard on TikTok to have a low cost per purchase. It's so rare that ad accounts are at $5 or $10 per purchase. They're almost always like 13 to 20. That's good. And so on Facebook, that's a little different. But yeah, so keep this timeline in mind. And I want to point out, there's an entry level timeline here. Okay, before you start this actual timeline, that's the testing phase, right? And a lot of people, they stop running ads. They stop their store after, 3 weeks. They've tried 2 products, don't know what the fuck they're doing, or made terrible videos themselves. Why do you expect that it didn't work? It's you think it's okay. And then they say dropshipping doesn't work. I want to just put out this is a big personal thing for me. If you start a business, you start it for a reason, right? And just stick with me for 2 seconds here. This might change your life. Who knows? Change mine. Whatever you picked for a reason. It was probably because you know somebody or saw someone where it's working for them. And as long as that's truthful, right? You know that e-commerce works. It's a simple fact, okay? You know that maybe trading stocks, there's people that make money trading stocks. It does work. I know people. But whatever you pick, you can't think, this didn't work. I tried it for a month. I'm going to go to the next thing and then the next thing. Because the grass is not greener. It's just different. Okay? It's different grass. That's all it is. And each one is just as hard. It's just different. So you're restarting every time. It took me a year to learn e-commerce. I think people can do it in 3 to 6 months. That's it. And that's why we have a coaching program that fits that timeline. It's 3 to 6 months where we work with people. And that's because you shouldn't spend 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then give up. You're a fool if you do that. Don't even bother wasting your time starting. Whatever you do, you're never going to stop, right? Just commit to it and you will never change anything until you get results, right? You're not changing model. You might change your approach, but not the business. And I think that's the biggest thing. People try to start an agency and get clients. You know how long that takes? It's not a month, right? So you got to learn this shit. That's just like any business. It takes time. We started a business 7 months ago. It's growing by about 1,000 customers a day. We have 7 full-time employees, hiring 1 to 2 a month right now. It's really starting to hit scale. We're still losing 30, 40,000 a month, still. Okay. And so it's a new thing. It's not e-commerce. It's not personal brand. My name's not attached to it. It's a different company in a very, very involved technology industry. And it's working really well. Okay. But it takes a lot of time and it's still sucking a lot of cash. Okay. And there's no reason, it's a very clear path. I'm not just going to give up on it. Right. So those are the things that I focus on. And I really just hope this simple breakdown works for you. But scaling your ads to 5,000 a day, even 10,000 a day, which would allow you to do this in half the time in 6 months, which is great. Is not that difficult. About 10, 12, maybe 15,000 a day. I'd say around that 10K a day mark is a really soft landing area with TikTok. You start to go above that, more problems start to happen is what I've noticed. Okay. But anywhere at 10 or less is really a sweet spot. Now, if you start to go below 2K a day, you just get more fluctuation. It's honestly more work. It's easier to be at 10 than it is to be at 1 to 2. And so that's why I say like get in that 5 to 10K a day range. It's going to be nice. You're going to be making money. You know, you can kind of do whatever you want. You can go focus on other things. It's not going to take a ton of your time, but you got to get set up first. So again, I will highly recommend to you viral e-com ads. I've literally been using them for years, making all this stuff. Use their VIP package. Go over here, click VIP members, click VIP sign up, and go buy it. Okay, it's $50. It's nice and easy. It's going to get you all this stuff really, really cheap. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. It would mean a lot to me if you just drop a like down below. That will help it reach more people so that less people continue struggling with advertising for their e-commerce business. All right, I'll see you in the next video, and be sure to check out those resources linked below.